cool to take these in a modern studio. Lay the unassuming flutes on the mixing console to warm them up. I've been recording for about 20-something years. And anyway, we would often take in actual artifacts, 1,000-year-old little clay ocarinas. I used to have a set of pan flutes that were 2,000 years old. They belonged to a private collection, but they would loan them to me for recording with. So it was just so cool to take those in to the studio, do digital recordings with such ancient things. It's just really a wonderful way to touch those people that are so, out of sight to you. The Nazca, the Inca, and the Aztec, the Anasazi.
Dr. Payne, he passed away some years ago, but he lived in Oklahoma City. And Doc Payne was, pursuing everything in the world. He was a medical doctor, but he was just interested in everything. One of those things was the flutes of Oklahoma, and he made friends with Bill Kozak, who was a Kiowa elder. This was back in the late 20s, and Dr. Richard Payne started learning to make flutes from Bill Kozak. So that was a real fortunate thing, because for a long time there weren't many people making these, and there definitely were people. There were, in Oklahoma there were several individuals, and one of the fellows in this area, Mr. Haney, he has also passed away, but back in the 70s and 80s. Mr. Haney was out on the road making flutes and the old tunings and everything. And Doc was making flutes and passing them around and teaching a lot of people. So he and several individuals were that lone voice. But throughout the past 100 years, there've been a lot of those folks. Bilo Kozak was one of them. He really made flutes for people and told stories and played for people. So he was always out there. And there were several, folks doing ethnomusicological research into these. There are recordings of Bilo Kozak and other flute players. And if you can go on the web and look for Bilo Kozak, B-E-L-O-C
COCAE, and I think that's right. But you can hear how they were played in the 1930s, and it's really quite wild. And this was almost a rock and roll instrument, you know, the plains flute that we hear that's so melodic and pretty now. They were really treated quite different some time ago, but I'm sure they've changed a lot over the 150 years that they've been around. Let's see, where was I going with all that? Oh yeah, but Dr. Payne had the measurements of the capital flute that was playing the Mojave flute, and the measurements, you know, very precise measurements, and the unassuming flutes and Hopi flutes and all these obscure things. And so he was really, I'm just kind of continuing some of his work anyway. And so Dr. Payne, you'll find his flutes around, and books written by Dr. Payne. You can get those from Oregon Flute Store. He has 3 books, one on the Hopi, one on the plains flute, and one on something else, I forget, but very much worth reading. And Doc was, he was out there in the thick of it quite a while ago.